And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 115. Welcome to the quarterfinals as we are jumping into our round of 8 and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, it is YoungYakov. Getting proxy racks. Let's go. As we send out 1 and we send out 2 SCVs. Proxy 2 racks here out of Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TVZ as we send out our initial SCVs. The racks are on the way. The Overlord is en route as well. The Overlord will scout for the proxy, but barely will miss the SCVs and barely will miss the racks. Oof. Yes, so rough movement there from YoungYakov. Behind this, though, opening up pool first. Oh, Yakov, he's played against Percival before. I mean, he does, or he has. Percival and YoungYakov, they do have a history with each other. Do have a pool first opener, pool into gas into a late expansion. Yakov playing it out very safely here and is going to look to almost blind counter Percival. Oh boy. Now, a couple of things here. Proxy Chirax is not the most committed build. Proxy Chirax is a build that is designed to disrupt the early game, get some damage done, and ideally force an overreaction and try to capitalize that as well. Try to capitalize on that. It is easier to transition out of this in towards a factory, in towards a mid game. But Yakov with the earlier pool, yep, means earlier Roach one. We're going for the Roach Rush, independent to whatever the hell's going on. Yakov is going for his own all-in, okay. And here we go, SCVs have been spotted. Lings, they pull away. To attempt the bunker. Yakov going for the Marine. Does own the Marine away. At last, the Marines, they will kill both Lings. Both Lings go down. Yakov having a rough start, but again, Yakov, he may just give up on the natural and just go straight into Roach production and just go for the counter all in. That would make the most sense here. We'll see if he can save the low grounds, but again, we'll see if the Roaches pop out in time. Yeah, the Roaches are amassing. Yakov building up his Roaches. That's going to be 6 Roaches on the way. Making use of that larva. Getting as many Roaches as he can. He's going to go for it. He's going to try to save it. Okay, let's go. Let's move in. Gets one Marine. Gets 1. Gets 2. Going for the 3rd Marine. Oof. Bleeding out Roaches. But again, he is barely hanging on here. Yeah, barely hanging on. Cannot Warfare and Ravagers. He has supply blocks. Oof. We'll lose another Roach. That is going to be 2 Roaches falling. It's the first Ravager. Ooh, Queen goes down. Brutal pickup. But Yakov holds. Yeah, Yakov, he does hold on. Pulls away the weakened Roaches. Cleans up the army. Saves the natural just barely. And now suddenly Percival, he's in trouble. Now, once again, we spoke about this, but Proxy Chirax means you can transition out of this. So back at home, we have Percival with a factory. Bunker's already on. CC is on the higher ground. Starport is already on the way. Percival, he's already working on that next step. And we'll see if YoungYakov can punish and break into the main. Cyclone is going to help, but that's not the equivalent of a tank. And again, this wall is vulnerable. Wall is vulnerable. Yakov has arrived. Cyclone has made it. And with the help of the Cyclone, the Ravager is going to be targeted down. Oh, it doesn't pull away. Ravager gets picked up. Yeah, nice pick up here by Percival. Takes down the Ravager. Takes out one of the Roaches. Oh. File zones away, but Percival, he's fine. Yeah, Percival, he's perfectly fine here. There's a full heal. And that was a little bit wasteful here from YoungYakov behind this rushing into the lair. Now, we have seen this before. This may be a rush into a lair into 2-base Muta. We have seen that in the past from this kind of game state. Ooh, meanwhile, Percival, he floats over, and Percival, he will scout the lair. Yeah, massive scout here. Another gas is on the way. Again, there's a very high chance this is going to be Mutas. But because Yakov just got scouted, does he still go for the Spire, or does he switch things up? Oh, taking all 4 gases. Cyclones are moving out. 2 Cyclones this early on. They can dominate. What is it to really threaten them? Yeah, lock him to the roach. He wants it. He's gonna get it. Oof. Yeah, roach goes down. Takes down the lings. There's one ravager remaining. No ling speed, and these cyclones again, they can just keep going for the lock-ons. Oof. There we go. Gets one cyclone, but for the cost of a ravager. There it is. There's a spire again. It's very common to go 2-base muta off of the back of the initial roach rush. That's why we brought it up earlier. So it's going for the mutas. But again, if we can predict it, so can Percival, especially because he scouted the lair. So he knows. Despite knowing he's still going into, despite quote-unquote knowing, despite having an idea of what's going on, he's still going for the faster cloak banshee. Interesting. We'll see what the banshees can get done. Spire's almost complete. Scans the main, now has full confirmation of the spire. Ooh, forcing friendly fire. Oh my god. I think they bust in. Bust into the mineral line. They bed out the widow mine. Now YoungYakov, now he also is aware that he's been scouted with that scan. And these banshees are wreaking havoc, getting a second queen, getting a third queen. 3 queens go down. Can he get a 4th? Barely not. Oh, barely not. Queen barely gets away, but again, this is still a better start for Percival. Back at him, we'll see if he can minimize losses. There's so much riding on this here for YoungYakov. Widow mines are fanning out. There are 3 widow mines in total. First shot goes off. Oof, kills 1 muta. There's 1 already. There's another widow mine here in the main. Yeah, it's behind the racks. Doesn't quite get dragged in. Oh my god! Oh my god, another connection goes off, another muta goes down. Yeah, rough losses so far. That's going to be 4 dead mutalisks. 4 mutas for 5 SCVs. Rough trades for Yakov, but thankfully behind this he has been joining. He's been joining, saturating, getting up to a proper 3-base economy. 4th base is on the way, and switching into a more committed Roach Ravager composition, making use of that Roach horn from early on. Now, I do like the idea of 3-base Roach all-ins on this map. We didn't really get to discuss the map itself, but Tourmaline is a very small map, very open 3rd, very open 4th. It is vulnerable to all-ins. It does favor all-ins. As mutas are being thrown away. At this point, they're just being thrown away. We're done with the mutas. It's all about the Roach Ravager, and defending this 3rd base against a Roach Ravager all-in is going to be insanely difficult. Especially without any tanks. Yeah, 0 tanks here for Percival. The all-in is coming. No defensive position, no bunkers, no tanks. He's got a couple of widow mines, but again, they're not ideal against Roach Ravager. He's going for it. Starter steps in. Takes down one of the widow mines. Forces this army back. And again, Percival just doesn't really have much to work with. There's just not much here. What is being pulled? Oof. Yeah, bars are connecting. Zoning back Percival into the main. Files on the ramp, forcing him down. Oh my god, bars are connecting. Yeah, they're still connecting, Pappy. And Yakov has done it. Yakov has done it. He has broken Percival. Takes down 27 SCVs. 7 workers breaking into the main base. Again, Percival, he was able to achieve some damage early on. At least catch out some units with the cyclones at least. He shut down the mutas. But the all-in here did catch him with his pants down. Again, he's working on a 4th CC. Jesus. Percival is getting a 4th CC, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. So the pants were down, and Percival did not scout the all-in, wasn't ready for it, not at all. And with that, Yakov, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of Percival. He's broken his back. 67 SCV kills. Keeps traveling further in. And breaking into the main base. It's still quite inefficient pushing into the main itself. But there's no rush, to be honest. There's no rush here. Yakov, he's night mining at the third base, killing the E-base. From here, he's droning, saturating. The first tank has finally arrived. Let's go. We got one tank. But again, it's too little too late. GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Yakov, he will take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead and claim the series, or if Percival can bounce back and force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Getting ready for game 2. After a very chaotic game 1. Percival really popped off in Monday Night Weeklies last night, came in 4th. That's very impressive, very impressive. I mean, especially when it comes to Monday Night Weeklies, Percival, for those who maybe are a little bit less familiar with the player, his best matchup straight up is TVP. TVP, he causes a lot of upsets. We've seen him take down and take it to players like Max Packs, like Hero, like Classic, like his TVP is beastly, even against Clem, even against Clem's Protoss. But I would say that Percival's weakest matchup is TVZ. This is the matchup that he's working on the most. And this is where someone like YoungYakov can pose a bigger threat to Percival than some of these other top Protosses. I think I do place Percival's TVT a little bit higher than his TVZ, just because we have seen it a lot more recently, and he has been forced to improve it just because he plays against so many Korean Terrans like Bunny, like Gumiho, like Ryung, like Byun. But regardless, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. It's going to be on Winter Madness. Here we go. This morning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, it is YoungYakov. Okay. And after popping off with a crazy aggressive build, we sent out 1, we sent out 2 SCVs, proxy again. It's time to just keep it up, pappy. We have 1 SCV, we have 2 SCVs, proxy, 2 racks out of Percival, going for the same build. Yakov last game, he blindly was going for his own early pull into early gas, into own roach rush. This time, hatch first. Ooh, so standard build out of YoungYakov, because I'm sure he believes that we will never see the same build done again, that Percival would never cheese the same way again. But that is not the case. He is going for the proxy 2 racks, and the Overlord once again will barely miss the raxes. Barely does miss. So Yakov, he's playing blind, is in the dark. Oh no! And he's sending his second Overlord further out. This should not happen. This should not happen here, and this is gonna hurt him. This is gonna kill him. So what is occurring here? Typically, with your second Overlord, you scout the left-hand side, and then you rally back so that your Overlord is in position to scout the bunkers if you miss the proxy. But here, Yakov is rallying actually all the way out into the center of the map, which means he has nothing here outside of the natural. It is standard to keep an Overlord here at your natural base so you can see the bunkers. But here he's blind. His Overlords are out of position, and Yakov, he's cutting corners. This is such a greedy move from YoungYakov, and he should be punished. These bunkers are going to be thrown down, and again, there's no kind of foresight of that. There's no foresight of the SCVs. It's going to be a very late reaction out of YoungYakov. Here we go. Bunkers are being thrown down. We have queens on the way. The boys are being pulled. Now, it is only proxy 2 racks, so you can pull the boys against this. Now it all comes down to the micro. YoungYakov has to minimize losses here when it comes to his drones. There we go. Does pull away the weakened worker. Nice control. Oh, he'll lose 1. Yeah, 1 drone goes down. Losing 1 so far. Losing 2. 3 drone kills. 4 drones go down. But alas, Yakov, he buys enough time. He does deny the bunker. He'll lose another drone. This is getting out of hand here. It's 6 drones. Oh, yeah, 6 drones go down. There's still an SCV remaining. Queen pops out. So Yakov, he will hold, but he sustained a lot of losses. Yeah, losing 6 drones, but nice pickups here when it comes to the Marines. Yeah, it takes out the Marines. Spine Crawler moves forward, and YoungYakov does hold. Does defend. The game will continue from here, but again, a lot of losses for YoungYakov. He has a lot of droning to do. And from here, we transition. Factory on the high ground. CC is on the way. As we mentioned, this is not an all-in. Remember, Proxy 2 Racks is not an all-in. You can just expand off of it. Technically, it's a macro opener. It's an aggressive opener. But just like last game, as Percival, very nice kiting, takes down 4 extra lings. Oh my god. Takes down the extra lings, and from here we just drone, we just saturate, we just build up. Now we do have a faster starport here. The Overlord does confirm, does get eyes on the starport. Last game we did see Cloak Banshee. We'll see if Percival goes into Banshees again here in game number 2. Eyes are on Percival. Now, very quickly here, talking about the game state and talking about the progression of this game as well. We spoke about Tourmaline earlier, how Tourmaline favors all-ins, and YoungYakov, he initially went for a roach rush, which kind of failed. I mean, he was able to shut down the bunkers and save the natural, but didn't get too much done across the map outside of killing maybe 1 SCV. But because of the nature of Tourmaline, YoungYakov then turned that into a 3-base all-in. Remember, he cut workers at 62. Went for a massive roach ravager all-in and did catch Percival with his pants down. Now, I bring this up just because this is not Tourmaline, this is Winter Madness. A much larger map, longer rush distance by ground, and more defendable bases. It is more difficult to achieve that kind of damage here on Winter Madness as Hellions, they get into the middle line. Spine Crawler is out of position, getting 1 drone already. Oh, getting 2. Yeah, 2 drones go down. Nice damage out of Percival. Getting another volley off. Looking for it. He's looking. Doesn't find it though. Does not find it. Hellions, they rush past. They attempt to dive in, and they will. Queens are late to react. But the later will over. Drones are going down. It's getting out of hand. 5 drones. Oof. Yeah, 5, 6 drone kills. Another massive volley. No, they're lighting up. Oh my god. 8 drones. 11. And that's game ending. This is critical damage. Critical damage is being dealt here. 11, 12 drones go down as Hellions, they just keep rallying in. It's like one of my ladder games today, actually. It's let's say curious. I was streaming on my personal channel just before the cast. It's also why I'm a little bit low energy, so I do apologize. Did spend a lot of energy laddering. That's why I shouldn't ladder. Not before a cast at least, but yeah, that is critical damage being dealt here. 20 drone kills in total in the early game. Now we do see YoungYakov going for a lair. At this point, at this stage, I would say that YoungYakov, he has to go for an all-in. He's just taken too many losses here. He's so far behind. 3rd TC is already done here for Percival. Percival has a very substantial lead, at least economically, tech-wise as well. So from here, YoungYakov, we've got some options. With the fast lair, with the lair first, we can go into... I was going to say roaches. We'd see a roach one already by now, though. This might be mutas. We might just double down and go for a spire and go into mass muta and like, just pray that you can buy time and find some damage. That might be the only way. Otherwise, we could go for a Nidus. Gases are being taken. Leading towards the spire. Okay, nice round towards the end. Nice round. Banshees, they poke in. They find 3 more drone kills. As Yakov tries to poke in, and I assumed it was going to be Spire. We are going into Hydras. So fast Hydra down here at a YoungYakov. Interesting. Now this would be a way to recover and a way to slow the game down. Yakov, he might go into Lair Tech Lurkers. Like, Lair Tech Lurkers may be the go-to here to slow the game down and to slowly expand and build up and try to recover. Yeah, plus on range is on the way. I imagine this is for the Lurker 10. We'll keep an eye on Yakov. You know, double drop is moving out. Yakov has no army. Fun fact, Yakov's army is 5 queens. 0 Zerglings, 0 Hydras. There is no army supply, essentially, outside of the queens. 4 Hydras on the way. This double drop should force, I was going to say force a cancel, it should get a kill. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing to stop this. Again, that's just how much critical damage was dealt earlier. So it kills the 4th base. We're dropping into the main base, and Percival, he can find more damage, for sure. He can keep going. This is what killing 20 drones early on allows you to do. Stems in and does hunt down some of the Hydras. Banshees, they come in for the backstab. More Hydras going down, and this should be too much. Like, critical damage was already dealt. Okay, many damage already occurred. And now even more so. Getting 7 more drone kills, sniping more Hydras as they pop out. Yakov cannot survive, cannot sustain these losses. Not like this. Cannot defend against a double drop. As it means they still step in, they snipe 2 more queens. Getting the 3rd and final queen. And Yakov does force the army to back off. But again, this was not really an army. This was 2 medevacs. I saw that this is the army. The army has arrived. Tanks, they step in. Sorry, they siege up. They move in. And massive tank shots on the Hydras. And GG. GG gets called. We are going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. GG. Whew, GG, well played. And again, a very successful 2 ranks here. If you remember early on, 6 drones were killed. He killed 6 drones initially with the initial 2 ranks, and then with the follow-up Hellion Harass, he killed another, 14 workers. That was 20 drones going down in total. That was critical game-ending damage. We saw the YoungYakov, he tried to rush into Hydras from there. I was curious if it was going to go for like a Lurker rush, or to go into Muta play, to go for something, to try to go for a Hail Mary play, but his option or his choice there was going to mass Hydra, and it takes a while. It takes a while to get there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. Let's go. We're going all the way to the final game of the series. We'll see how this story ends. Here we go. I see Kenny in the chat saying, remember to tell Beyond Milky out to wait in case Yakov 2-0s. Semifinals are always casted for the Sparkling Tuna Cup, so I feel like we've reminded you this a couple of times here, but yeah, we always cast semifinals for the Tuna Cup. There are some tournaments that don't hold semis. There are tournaments like the Pigastar Cup or Monday Night Weeklies. They don't hold semifinals. Our tournament always does. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing himself, currently teamless. It is Percival. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Zerg player. The Red Zerg player himself. Oh, the Red Zerg. It is YoungYakov. Oh, sorry, I think that was in reference to the quarterfinals. We don't hold quarterfinal matches. That's where we don't quite do that. Okay, let the players be free, Pappy. Let them be free. Hello, Yakov. After 2 games in a row of proxies, Yakov, he goes for the drone scout. Oh my god. Okay, I mean, drone scouts are quite rare, but against Percival it makes sense, right? He's proxied twice now, 2 games in a row, so YoungYakov, he's paranoid now, even checking the right hand side as well. Oh my god. So the mind games in favor of the Terran player here, forcing some inefficiencies out of YoungYakov. Winding it back again, drone scouting is very rare. It's very rare in ZvT, but just because of how the series has played out, YoungYakov feels the need to check just in case. So the mental victory here for Percival. Behind this, we're building up hatch gas pool, and for the first time this series, no proxy. True. For the very first time this series, Percival does not open up with the proxy racks. He's setting up back at home. Let's go. Oh. Yeah, we just be catching up in the chat. Macro opener. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, it's like a 12 pool. Not all in. Jesus. Yeah, as Reaper forward, it does take down one of the Zerglings. Just the one. From there, Yakov does deflect. And we'll see where our players take us. Oh! As he wants that tumor. Yeah, he wants it. Doesn't quite get it, though. Gonna be zoned back. The Reaper's just too low HP. Oh, and do you see what I see? Hidden second racks. Okay, Percival going for what looks to be a hidden 2-on-1, if not even a third racks as well alongside this. But there we go. It does hide the second racks, building up his reactor. There's a couple of possibilities here. This could just be a 2-on-1, or we could even go for a hidden armory, build up those Hellions, and go for a stim timing alongside Hellbats. So Percival, he has options. Based on how much he's hiding this racks, I do feel like there's a high chance that we do try to hide some tech here alongside this, but we'll see. Now the Hellions are building up. Stim is on the way. Eyes are open for a third racks. Or for an armory. I would imagine that this time Percival does not want to throw away these Hellions. Last game we saw him just dive and sacrifice, and it was worth it. But there's going to be a lot of strength here when it comes to that stim timing. So I'm sure he does want to keep them alive. Oh. Yakov going for the early Evo chamber.
Successful.
This should be for +1 carapace. Okay. Yakov reading this as a stim timing. I mean, he's noticed that we have a lower Hellion count. So we have 2 more Hellions on the way. 4 in total, getting up to 6. Despite that, there's carapace. And yep, there it is. As we mentioned, Armory Hellbat push. So as we had assumed from the beginning here, it is going to be a stim timing with Hellbats as well. It's going to hit quite hard. It's going to hit very hard. And Yakov, he should have carapace. It should finish up in time. It's going to be close. As of course, we're waiting for the medevacs. By the time they arrive, there is going to be +1 finishing. Percival is going for a 3rd CC. And there are going to be defensive bailings. Comes down to the execution. Let's go. Comes down to the execution, pap. Oh, shema, papi, shema. There you go. Double drop is on the way. Does boost across. We have Hellions on the right hand side. How many? It is going to be 6. So 6 Hellbats. Bailey-ness is not done. Ooh, Bailings will not be ready in time. So no defensive Bailings, not yet. Hellbats morph in. Yakov, he does spot the Hellbats. He's aware. Yeah, he's aware. He still needs a little bit more time for the Bailings. Queens have to kite back. Oh, 2 of them get caught out. Yeah, 2 of them force back. Spine Crawler, Clutch Transfuses, the Spine Crawler full as well. We have 9 Bailings in production, but it's too late. We bust into the mineral line, and drones are going to get roasted. Yeah, there's no way out of this massive connection. 17 drones go down, already critical damage, and Percival has done it. Sure, +1 finishes up at too little too late. Bailings arrive too late as well. That's going to be 23 drone kills. Ay. Gets everything here at the 3rd. And Percival doesn't kill, but he does cripple. Essentially, he's done crippling damage. He's done game-ending damage. Back at home, Percival, remember, he had a third CC. He was not all in. Third CC is finishing up. Combat shields on the way. More Raxes as well. YoungYakov trying to go for the counterattack, but back at home, there should be a full wall. Oh. And there is. And that's SimCity here. Does a wedge this position with the tank. Lings, they're being thrown away, and Percival will just shut this down. There we go. 2 SCVs for 2 Banelings. That's not good enough. The counterattack achieves nothing. And Percival, again, looking solid. Looking solid back at home. And again, when it came to that timing, +1 carapace finished up 10 seconds too late. The Baneliness also finishing up more than 10 seconds too late there as well. So Baneliness was too late. +1 didn't quite factor in. Again, Yakov was not aware of what was going on. He never scouted the main base. He was not aware of what was happening. It looked like he was just getting ready for a regular 2-on-1, but it was anything but. As Percival sub sets in, Bailey's will zone away. Here comes the rest of the rally. And the problem with losing all those workers, again, the soup does lie. The soup is a little bit deceptive as to the current game state here. YoungYakov had to rejoin, had to resaturate. That means that the army is that much smaller. That means the upgrades are that much more delayed. If you can catch the army on siege, if you can catch it Percival unawares, then maybe you can land some damage, but he gets supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block, and Percival just getting further and further ahead. He's going for the 4th. Setting up on the high ground. Even catching out some of the Banelings. Okay, force to pick up, pulls away. Again, we have 3 tanks in position. This base cannot be saved. Cannot, it will not. Hatchery goes down. Percival's moving in. Oh, nice fungal. Okay, nice fungal. Catching out some of the Marines. Very nice pickup. But what's scary here is that YoungYakov, he's struggling against his push. This is the real army. the army's coming, papi. This is merely just a fraction of Percival's strength. Ay, ay, ay. Tank flow is going off. The first tank does go down, make it the second, but here comes the main army right down the center. We do have a fungal. Fungal goes off. Fungal lands. Banelings, they connect, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does not matter. We had maybe the best connections possible there with the Banelings. We had nice fungal, but alas, the numbers just are not there. And Percival, he stims, and he wins. GG gets called. Percival, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. A cheeky build here out of Percival, going for a 2-on-1 with a Hellbat push, which did catch YoungYakov off guard. I see in the chat he barely had any army supply. If you're referring to the defense, the reason for that, as we tried to bring up, is that YoungYakov didn't scout. He did not scout the main base. He didn't realize how aggressive and how committed his opponent was. There was no need to actually over prepare for a defense, as he, I want to say, had enough to defend and to deflect against a regular 2-on-1. But this wasn't a regular build. It was a much more aggressive, much more dedicated build out of Percival. And again, Yakov didn't see it coming. He did not scout, did not check, was not aware of the army, was not aware of the Hellbats, and he was caught with his pants down. Again, the Baneliness was too late. The upgrades were not a factor either. The Spine Crawl was finishing up too late as well, as they were focused on immediately. And GG. GG, well played. As Percival got into the mineral line and was able to end the game. GG, well played. GG, well played. With that, let us head on over here to the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Okay, Percival, he's the first player to make it to the semifinals. He's waiting for the winner of Beyond and Milky Cow. Scrolling down, we do have our next set of players. We have Ryung. Ryung is up against Nice in the quarterfinals, and we have Christiana versus Nickrat in the quarterfinals as well. Here we go. See someone in the chats. Oh, was hoping to catch TVT since we don't get many of those. We get a decent amount of TVT to the point where, I mean, regardless, the upper semis is going to be a TVT. It's non-stop Terran up there. I would say that, yeah, just because of the amount of Terran players that are out there, we do see TVT a little bit more frequently. For example, over the weekend as well, we casted, what was it? Bjorn, Cure, and Maru were all in the same portion of the bracket, so we did cast a decent chunk of TVTs over the weekend, and we'll be getting a TVT here eventually as well. Unfortunately, we won't be able to catch Bjorn versus Milky Cow, but hey, winner against Percival, so you want a TVT. We have a Terran confirmed for the final.